and welcome
to the
to
void.
Death Battle Cast. No Chad, it's the Death Battle Cast. Hi, I'm Ben. I'm the voice of Wiz. You just heard him, joined by Chad, of course, voice
Hi.
of Boomstick. What's up, Chad?
What's up?
What have you been up to, man?
Just took my kids to the dentist, which then led down the rabbit hole of weird conversations to Sam just really skeeved out Liam.
Yeah, it's funny.
We got Sam.
Yeah.
What's up, Sam?
So it's funny, like my cheeks hurt from smiling and laughing so hard just because I brought Liam such a level of displeasure. It was like an alchemic like trade where his unhappiness directly correlated to my happiness, and it was so beautiful.
Like a sight.
Okay.
We get my reaction.
We'll talk about this terrible thing on the Champion Cast. Sign up for Champion membership if you haven't already. I got you. I hooked you right in the first few minutes. Welcome to my TED Talk on marketing on YouTube.
You want to hear something horrible that'll skeeve you out?
It was
guess
fucking
what?
bad. It did give me
Something
some of
that
the
skeeved
worst
out
heebie-jeebies ever.
Liam.
Yeah.
I want to point out.
It didn't make you feel bad. Just think about it happening.
Liam sent some of the some scripts that have some very
disgusting,
for lack of a better word, disgusting, and disturbing elements in them sometimes.
Fully realized disgusting imagery.
Think about the sound, Liam.
This should be an interesting Champion Cast. Hey, thank you everybody for joining us. Seeing a bunch of champions in the chat. Liu and I just see your member for 9 months saying I'm already champion. Awesome, thank you. And Cage gifting 5 Death Battle memberships, which is amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it's Kage, but
Kage, Cage.
I think so. Whatever. I always say Kage. Let us know.
Kaja.
Thank you for dropping the 5 subs. Which reminded me, we missed
They're
one.
not subs, Chad. We're not Twitch.
Look,
or
which Kage also dropped 10 last cast. I had this note to talk about it. Yeah, we were like, I normally watch for this stuff like a hawk, but I was debating, so we all missed it. And Luis actually DM me, was like, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "Oh." So I wanted to say thanks again. Kage, good job.
Kaji, how do you say your name? Cage, Kaj, Kage. How do you say it?
Probably Kage.
Hokage. Kage.
Yeah,
there we go.
The Hokage.
No, that's not. That's from somebody else saying it's Hokage.
The other day, did I say it? The other day, I was in a group of like non-weebs. It was very boring. In
what?
Like
refreshing sometimes, isn't it?
We're all bullshitting, right? And like talking about stuff. In my significant other was talking about how I watch a lot of YouTube content, and I was like, yeah. And she was joking because she works in like. It or did and kind of still does work in like data analysis and like misinformation on the internet and that kind of shit. And she was like, one day YouTube's gonna radicalize you. And I was like, I am radicalized. I'm just like in the direction you like. Like I'm not voting for Trump, but I would shoot a billionaire on principle. Like I'm so radicalized. And then I was like, I'm the fucking woke Kage out here, and nobody, the whole table was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like woke Kage. That's nothing to you people. That's so good. Where are my wings?
Sorry, dude.
That's amazing. I love that.
That was the normal response to woke Kage.
That is incredible.
Yeah. Anyway,
well
that's
done.
my
I'm glad
story.
you got to bring it up here.
That's a good one though. I should write that down. That's funny.
Woke Kage.
Yeah, that's gonna make it into a script.
Yeah, that's gonna.
Next time we bring a Naruto character in.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh no. All right. Well,
welcome to Champion, Jason.
Shippuden.
Speaking of, I don't know. It's time for let's get into one of our first community death battles of the new year. Hey, remember we do this show live every single Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central. But of course, the VOD does go up on Fridays later on in the week, so you can always listen back to it. But we have a special episode, a special matchup today because it was on the Champions ballot that you guys voted on near the end of last year to decide on 2 episodes for next season. This one did not win, so it's not going to be on like a Death Battle episode next year. At least that we haven't announced yet. But we liked it a lot, so we wanted to do a Death Battle cast of it. Jake and Finn of Adventure Time versus Mordecai and Rigby of Regular Show.
I like that you put Jake first. Good
yeah,
job.
it's always Finn and Jake. That's
but no, not today.
I read it wrong from my notes, so whatever.
Luigi and Mario.
The Luigi brothers, yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Luigi movie to come out later on this year. Leah will be repping Finn and Jake. Got it. And Sam will be repping Rigby and Mordecai.
Rigby, but yeah, sure, don't worry about it.
Lucas in the chat said, "I'm angry this didn't win, but I'm happy it's being talked about." Just wanted those to remind you out, because everybody speculates because what was on the poll, and if it's just because it was on the poll doesn't mean it's not going to be made in the future, or like you're all good. So
I think most of us were more excited about this and Ori versus Knight.
Yeah,
but you know, here we are.
I stand by Billcord. I think we should do. I've been wanting to do this fight, so
it's gonna be a cool one.
Well, Chad's a Billcord stand, so.
Yeah, so
the system. No, sorry.
As always, the way this is gonna work is they are gonna be arguing for their characters, plural this time around, who should win in a fight, in a death battle. And at the end of the show, the jury will decide who wins. And the jury consists of 3 seats. This time it's going to be me, Chad, and you all watching this at home live. So get ready for the poll that's going to be up later on in the show. Okay.
I was right. It was Kage, by the way.
Yeah.
There you go. We also have an announcement later on in the show regarding the Discord. Stay tuned for that. Not Discord character, the Death Battle Discord. We'll get to it.
Should have left it open. Should have left it kind of, really get people talking.
Maybe both. Who knows? But all right, let's get to the opening statements for this matchup. Liam, let's start with you. 60 seconds. You're up.
All right, I just had to respond to a message that was like,
think
I was
about
like,
that
whoa.
thing Sam told you right before we started.
Anyway, okay, so Finn and Jake are deceptively powerful. They are seasoned adventurers, explorers, fighters. Finn comes with a bevy of swords and powers of his own. Jake is a walking, talking, like his stretching is so incredible. It's like a sub Green Lantern ring. Like there's much more to it than you would immediately think. He is not just like Mr. Fantastic. They are incredibly powerful, incredibly fast. They scale to some pretty insane shit and potentially even more insane shit. I think that, like, depending on what you go with for Mordecai and Rigby, maybe they could get close, but I think the big difference is that Finn and Jake are actual fighters. They actually have combat experience. Mordecai and Rigby are fucking douchebags.
Damn, ended on the insult.
Oh, wow, okay.
Liam, you may have lost some points with the scream because you blew some people's ears out.
Sorry, it was not my fault. That was you, Chad. That was I want to redirect that to you for bringing up the thing I've already forgot about.
I lean away from my mic when I scream.
Mic etiquette.
I simply I do truthfully, and that's all I can do. So sorry, your ears.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and jump over to Sam then for 60 seconds on Mordecai.
Man, it's always such a gamble on what Sam's going to come out the gate with.
Yeah, look. Yeah, Mordecai and Rigby. What is better than a duo in avian vermin duo team? I don't know. It's a bird and like a raccoon, right? They're weird and they look regular, hence the name regular show, but they have a humongous amount of powers. They're insane. They're not superhumans because they're not human. They're super powered. And most importantly, I think to start a conversation, they're practitioners of Death Kwon Do, which is the most deadly martial arts style ever known. And I think just that alone, but they also do have a lot of powers. They, on many occasions just survive in the vacuum of space, like chilling, because fine. And like they do a lot of, for a show based about a park, they go to space. Handful of times. There's a lot of space activity. There's a lot of monster fighting. They tackle grizzly bears. They do a bunch of weird shit, and hopefully they can win this fight. And I don't need the other 5 seconds. You don't need it.
I don't believe they can win this fight.
Hopefully.
I'm sorry.
We've never had that play before.
That's very earnest.
Regular, and they tackle grizzly bears. Is that all? Is that?
Hey,
No.
they go to
Is that
space.
your argument?
They go to
No,
space.
okay,
space.
so we
And
can
they know
talk about
Death
Death Kwon-Do. Death Kwon-Do is just like no rules, you've killed a man, right? Like it literally
What?
the punches, yeah, when they like also they have a considerable body count for what is essentially a kids show. But they punch people and they just vaporize. They're just gone. Like that is how powerful a Death Kwon-Do punch is. I believe the only person we really see survive a death punch is Mordecai, because he learns the death block maneuver in Death Kwon-Do. And Rigby punches him, I think it's like 8 times, and the crater is so large, they're the lower crust of the earth, and magma starts spilling in. And then they use a death jump to just fly straight out of that hole and across the whole city skyline. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is every move that they have just death something? Death
From
leap,
Death
Kwon-Do.
Hopscotch. Yeah,
I would
from
imagine,
Death Kwon-Do.
yeah.
But they also, there is a bunch of gadgets too that they have that, you know, it's always one of those things like, do the gadgets come into the death battle? For the sake of it though, they do have a keyboard, and then when they play a tune on the keyboard, what they sing about does essentially become reality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Infinity
So-
keyboard. Love it.
That
Okay,
one's a little
I
spicy.
want to respond with some stuff. So we
Is it the
started off
reality tone?
kind of talking with durability, right? Okay, so like I'm just gonna look at Finn and Jake are very similar in terms of stats, so I'm just happen to be looking at Finn's respect thread right here, but Jake is also very comparable, plus a big factor that we'll also get to. Like that kind of stuff of like surviving those kind of big explosions. Finn has survived the same kinds of things. He was like encased in a block of ice and he was fine. He had his head dunked in lava and was fine.
The encased in a block of ice thing, the show does lead you to believe that they're dead at that scene. And yes, they're alive in the next episode, but whether or not they were brought back to life, they are very much at the end of that episode, like they're dead, and the Ice King like tries to cover it up after they're a block of ice.
There's other instances. Like I'm actually looking at a GIF right now of Finn being frozen as he's like sliding down this massive hill. He gets frozen solid and is like still talking underneath the ice. So he can survive.
They do it on occasions, but also I do believe it killed them once. So
it did not, unless it was confirmed that it killed them. I don't buy that it killed them. He's had his head dunked in lava. Let me keep going.
So
he's been survived.
If they get put in a block of ice, the block of ice melts and they're completely unresponsive and do not respond to anything, and other characters in the world are assuming they're dead. That doesn't mean they're dead, is what you're saying.
Are we talking about the GIF that I can just send you right now? But we can't do GIFs, which is why I'm not showing it.
Yeah, sorry, YouTube's
no,
really
I'm
bad
talking about
being frozen,
guy,
completely solid, and
I'm
being
talking about
fine.
the one specifically. It's the episode where the Ice King kind of accidentally, in a fit of anger, hires an assassin, and the only way to get around the assassin, because there's literally an assassin who will not do his job.
Yeah.
And so how they get him to stop trying to kill them is the Ice King kills
fought
them.
Planet Busters.
Yeah,
I was going to build up. I was getting I was
assassin.
starting to get annoyed by the encased in block of ice. They fought Planet Busters. They're planet level. They fought.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Can I keep going?
I guess.
Jesus Christ. Completely unaffected by electricity, Finn like actually drank this like a serum or potion or whatever that made him immune to it. He survived mind control. He survived being he can resist being transformed into things. Plenty of durability feats. Finn actually survived being sucked into a black hole, which I kind of wanted to say for later, but it just sort of transitioned nicely, and we're talking about survivability feats. Survived a fucking black hole, and it sucked him up entirely, and then the black hole closed, and then it exploded because he cut it from within. So like that's like a lot. That's like
what? He
level.
Cut a black hole from within?
from the inside. Yeah,
after it collapsed.
Because
I feel like we should just make a
sword
list
had
of
been, like,
cartoon characters
transformed.
that haven't been thrown into a black hole. It would be
Yeah.
shorter. Like,
On a similar note, Mordecai and Rigby are in like a lab, and they get caught up in some
See?
activated antimatter that essentially transmutes them into like a single pixel and everything, and they just turn inside out and get all wiggly and wobbly, and like I don't really know what the fuck antimatter does to a thing, but it looks quite painful. And then it explodes, and
different than
they're
antimatter
fine.
in real life.
Yeah,
I mean, antimatter is just supposed to destroy matter.
Yeah,
so
annihilates itself.
In
and
that
I mean, they
context,
essentially
it
do
just
get
reversed
destroyed.
It like turned it inside out.
Yeah. I mean, they like turn into liquid and go all around, and they're all mushy, and then it explodes, and they're
mushy,
kind of like smoking and obviously a little hurt, but they're fine.
Sponge God's yelling at you, Sam. He says, "Sam, that was not a black hole. You know what actually happened."
Well, yelling at me because I didn't say anything about black hole. I talked about antimatter.
Yes, Sam.
Yeah.
You know that was a black hole. You know that Liam is correct. That's what that message is saying.
No, I think. Yeah, the black hole wasn't real.
That
though,
Mordecai
man.
and Rigby flew to space and back in 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's the thing. Here's one of the things in like. Liam already kind of set some precedent of the attitude of this with being like, well, just because they're dead and they show up in the next episode, they never died, right? Anyway, so the point I'm going here is at one point in time, they're in a heated game of basketball, and they are granted the powers of the basketball god. And in a minute, when their opponent is dribbling so fast the basketball does catch fire, Rigby's able to get a hand on it and then tries to do a dunk, and he jumps into space. And then they do a couple. Then so does Mordecai and Rigby both jump into space. They pass the ball back a few times, and then it's Mordecai goes in for the dunk, and you see there's a shot where he like, here's Jupiter, here's Mars. Rigby's just like, or Mordecai's just like, like just right in between the planets, dunks the ball so hard the whole like mushroom cloud explosion, the whole park is fucking leveled. Like,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
Park level is pretty. Space. Park level is pretty impressive.
Park level, yeah. Okay, sure.
Planet level maybe a little different.
Massively faster than light, though. Let's just put that out there.
Depends on.
I saw some people talking about this in the chat. I'm not like an expert on these shows, so I'm not entirely sure what this necessarily means. But going to the keyboard and things like that, is there a reason why we shouldn't be counting these? Or should we just be giving them everything?
In the story, the keyboard of power gets broken, but then I think they also do have it like at the finale again. It's been a while since I've watched the show, but the keyboard of power is one thing. But like,
didn't you get wizard robes that are for one episode that give them like tons of really cool magic powers that I didn't think to include, but could. I mean, that would give them more. What do people want from this episode? Do we want a standard?
Yeah, I guess it's a good question because like these are shows that definitely have these like compacted stories where they get powers or items or whatever that are just relevant at that one story and then don't really matter later on. So yeah, I guess it's a question for the chat. Does it make sense to include all of those powers so we have the entire story of both or all four characters at hand, or are we just looking at them in like, I guess, base, which I feel like would be less interesting.
Tons of people are jumping on saying that the keyboard came back in the final episode, that they have it, so they have it.
Sam mentioned.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of everything.
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 I mean, as I was saying that, it kind of. I definitely side with everything personally because I feel like
it'd be way more fun.
It's going to be a lot more fun, and that's kind of what these shows are sort of about, is just throwing them into these like crazy situations.
Like Finn, like he has tons of swords, and he's had tons of swords that have changed over the course of his like time on the show, and like you wouldn't want to just pick one. Like like give him tons, give him all of them.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And I don't see anybody in the chat even remotely interested in not everything.
Like one or two was like standard, but then everybody else is like, do it.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that definitely is more thematic.
I would pretty much agree that with like standard without gadgets and other stuff, I think Jake and Finn have it. But with everything, I genuinely think Mordecai and Rigby. I think also they are just so like, there's a couple feats that lead to, especially the basketball one, lead to them being like way faster than light. And yeah, I think that kind of speed is gonna pay off pretty big.
Plus, I mean,
the Death Kwon Do punches simply vaporize people. Like
yeah, but like the energy that Finn and Jake, the feats that they have are more than like people vaporization. It's not that impressive. I say that like
Take
I
that
could do
quote,
it.
everyone.
It's like, you know,
Liam
it's not that,
2023.
but like, you know, like a lightning bolt could theoretically or something like that.
Real quick,
yeah.
our wonderful mod Nubia asks, "Does Finn get Fern?" I don't know what Fern is. What is Fern?
I saw that a bit in the research that I was doing. I wasn't quite sure what that was. If people want to like bring it up and talk about it, because I'm not as familiar with Adventure Time, but Fern was. I think the idea is that like his sword became another person or something like that. That's not quite it.
Apom of MQ says Fern and baby ducks are probably the only things that can't be used, considering they're their own separate characters.
Ah, okay. Fern was the result of Finn's grass sword and the Finn sword merging into one being.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if I don't know. I mean, technically, within the rules of Death Battle, if they can summon a creature,
yeah, if it's a summon, that counts.
Should be able to. And if he's got both swords and they're able to merge into a separate being, that would technically fall under those rules. This is, I don't know. This kind of stuff is obviously very weird. Like, we could totally say that this doesn't necessarily like work, but by our base rule set, it would technically work as far as I can tell. But if there's special circumstances where it's like he has to be in this one place next to this one rock and then touch the source of that rock, maybe not.
There is a little bit that, like, if you're bringing in side characters, like there's a character in, you know, spoilers if you care about regular shows ending, which you should. It's actually, I would say, like, as far as these kind of shows,
try to be vague about it.
Its final season is insane, but there's a character called Pops who has like essentially late, like in the last season, he gets like Super Saiyan, but it's much different, right? And there's like, you know, the shadow version of him, and they literally shoot ki blasts that like blow up planets, right? Like that's
they're like Dragon Ball characters.
Yeah, they're Dragon Ball, but Mordecai and Rigby do get hit by a beam that blows up a planet
and survive.
Yeah, technically you could argue that they might be like being protected by Pops, but there's not like a lot of, I don't think there's enough evidence to say like, oh, Pops gave them some sort of shield, because you don't really see it. But Pops does say something earlier about in the episode about like, I'll keep you safe while we're out there, kind of thing. So I don't know.
Do they get hit by the beam, or does the beam hit the whatever planet they're on and the planet blows up and they survive that?
They get caught in one of the beams, absolutely.
Okay.
Because it makes their colors go like negative or whatever, because it's the dark beams from the evil one. And I can't remember if that one specifically blows up the planet or it just sends them off into space. But yeah.
Because like, yeah, I just want to like clarify just, and I also think this might be interesting to people listening, like technically surviving a planet blowing up, like if you're on the surface of a planet and the planet blows up, it isn't actually on its own a planet level feat for you in terms of durability, because the center of the explosion, as long as the center of the explosion is like the core of the planet itself is what's blowing up.
Yeah.
And you're a really far distance away from the center of the explosion, and at the farther away you are, the energy spreads out and you're going to tank less of it. I don't know.
So first, vaporizing a human's not that big of a deal, and if you survive your planet exploding, you can't really say your planet level.
I do want to point out, Probuscus in the chat does say, I think Anti-Pops punched a solar system into existence. Is that a thing?
I haven't seen that episode in so long. There is some wild shit. I mean, it's like it's the end of the show and it starts going buck wild. There's other stuff though, like, I mean, when they learn to emphasize how strong Death Kwon Do is, there's a character that they hang out with called Skips, who's like always he's the strong guy, right? Like, he's a giant yeti, he's nothing but muscles. Skips, once Rigby learns how to do the death punch, like the whole plot of the episode is like everybody at the park is pretty much just does his bidding because they don't want to get killed by him. So even Skips is like, I'm not gonna touch him. And Skips is so strong, he arm wrestles death and wins, right? Like That's the kind of shit we're talking about here. And it's not just normal Death. Death has like his normal arm and one completely fucking ripped arm for arm wrestling. And like he kills him, right? So like that's how strong Death Kwon Do is, right? It makes Skip, this guy who can beat Death in an arm wrestling match, just be like, nope, not gonna touch him. Like,
okay,
oh
I hate to do the downplay trifecta, but we don't know how physically strong Death is, just like in terms
the
of
power
like,
they're exuding
lifting.
when it happens.
It's a game show.
Okay, the power that happens that exudes whenever they get in an arm wrestling match, like brings them into a void universe that's spinning with magic. Like they go from we're at the house to it's a fucking tornado of evil around us. Like it is. It's not just like I'm strong. Like it's some wild shit. Lightning strikes and shit. It's buck wild, man.
Well, a couple
like,
things around it. A lot of people are
storm.
saying that Skips
Storm
cheated in that match against Death, and then also in that same episode, Skips killed Rigby by arm wrestling him.
I mean, obviously Rigby didn't die, but yeah, he did win the arm wrestling match. But he didn't necessarily cheat, right?
Continuity.
So what they're talking about is Skips, and this is, I guess, like if you want to talk about arm wrestling, Skips is like losing, and then changes his grip to his A game and kind of tricks Death into thinking he was about to win and just like slams him down, right? Like if that's cheating, he still did it. Like he just changes his grip and he's like blammo, right? Like it's not. It might be a little bit of a mental trick, but it doesn't matter. Death is still like right there struggling to put his false grip to the pad, and he can't. And then he changes grip and slams him, right? Like
I just say that, like, Finn and Jake have fought beings like let's look at my notes. Orgalorg, who's described as the breaker of worlds, and has fought other like planet level beings, like I think they're called celestial beings or something like that, or something. I don't know. Citadel Guardians. Okay, so it started with a C. And those are like high level god demon like reality warping beings that they fought. I from what I saw of the Pops versus anti-Pops feat, Mordecai and Rigby are kind of like on the outskirts watching, but they're pretty like pants shitting terrified of what's going on and are like, what the fuck? So I don't think that they would scale to Pops, at least from what I saw. I know that there is like the big
they could
bad...
survive the battle between Pops and anti-Pop.
They could survive.
They were in the middle of that.
I don't think
of the battle. I don't want to like say that.
Yeah, I don't think
couldn't necessarily blow up like do what they do.
Yeah,
but they could survive it.
They don't scale them power-wise
to an extent.
They don't scale to. I never said they scale to Pops. I said they can strength-wise scale to Skips, but not. They don't. They're not. Awakened Pops is like a whole different fucking thing.
Somebody might be able to like in the chat might be able to explain this, because I keep seeing Golb brought up, GOLB in all caps, and he seems like the bad guy at the end of the series. I could be remembering wrong, but I'm not sure if Finn and Jake scale to him. I'm gonna put that out there. This is not an argument per se, but it seems like he's incredibly powerful. Like versus battles where he has him at low multiverse level, he exists beyond time and space. He's said to be, or he's stronger than wizards who can dream entire universes.
Okay. I'm just gonna throw out a guess that Finn and Jake do not scale to this.
I don't know, because as we have all experienced with Death Battle, how many times have we been like, yeah, this guy Bungo the Destroyer can shit a multiverse, and PPE, our character that we're analyzing, who is really weak, beat him, and there is no context that disproves it otherwise. So I'm just saying, maybe I don't know if there are Golb scaling arguments.
Well, the entire chat says you're wrong. So
I'm not saying I'm not wrong.
You're absolutely wrong, Liam.
They do not. I'm not wrong.
They don't scale.
I didn't make a positive claim either way. It's not being. I literally was asking. I'm glad to know. Jesus.
But apparently, Rigby or Mordecai, one of them punched Pops into the sun using Death Kwon Do.
What the hell?
When and to be fair, he doesn't vaporize him. He doesn't hit him with the punch. He just does the punch, and the shockwave like shoots Pops. I mean, it's hard to say he's into the sun, but it's like, that's the character shot. It's like camera low, and he goes into invisible towards the sun, right? But he is like, yeah, not even a direct, just the shockwave of a Death Kwon Do punch just blows him the fuck out of the scene, right? So
and that's God.
Well, it's not. It's like not awakened Pops. It's Pops who is like a universe being for sure, but he's not. He's not in his Super Saiyan mode yet, right? So he's just like
what I'm gathering here is if we were to do this as an actual death battle, it could be one of the most broken concepts we've ever looked at.
Be. And I want to add on. We moved past the keyboard thing about the keyboard bringing things into existence. Jake can do that too. They both can. It's the power of their imagination. And it's not really explained. It's just an episode where Jake starts imagining things like the floor is lava, and then the floor becomes lava, and they just start imagining whatever they want. So I'm gonna throw that one out.
Is that just them playing a game and it's in their head?
No, it's not in their head. It's like the thing of the episode is that it seems like it's in their head at first.
In
and
fact,
it becomes
the whole
actual
series
real
was actually
thing.
just his dream, and he's a normal child.
It was
and has
actually
no powers.
Doki Doki Panic, and it's all Mario's dream.
Oh boy. Okay.
Also, Jake can stretch and shapeshift any way he wants. He made clones of himself. The idea is that like it has to, because he's stretching, it has to be connected to him. So like he made a bunch of like horrifying Jake clones that were attached like by umbilical cords that were like running out of him. He can shrink down to like the size of a piece of popcorn or grow like larger than mountains and like and punch the shit out of people.
He does like
Jake is really
kind of have a stretchy limit, but it's pretty.
Yeah, it's
There's that episode where he goes through a maze and he's like, I can't stretch any farther. I'm gonna die, and then he stretches a little bit farther. So like, it's sort of but clearly, I think it's 100% fair to say the further he stretches, the weaker he gets.
There is a limit eventually.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if that's not necessarily, I think that there's a limit. I think that he can stretch really far and get really strong because his mass is increased. But like there is a limit, and if he hits that limit, then he begins to weaken. I think that's more like a rubber band.
But it is an absurd limit because he can go to mountain size like without issue, right? And he's just walking around. Yeah. So,
what is Jake's blue form?
I don't know.
Let's keep it that way.
Jacob mentions Jake's also got the blue form. I don't know what the blue form is.
Yeah, got the blue form. Take that.
Well,
Sam.
Cool.
Shit.
Blue form. Okay, well, while you look up what the blue form is so that we can actually include it in whatever argument we're going to have, let me tell you about our sponsor for this week's episode, HelloFresh. Hey, give you a little bit of time. All right. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. With their fast and fresh recipes, HelloFresh's latest line of meals features robust flavors and filling portions. And they're ready to go in less than 15 minutes. And hey, if one of your New Year's resolutions was to eat healthier and cut back on takeout, HelloFresh is a stress-free and delicious way to do just that. With over 35 weekly recipes, there are plenty of options to help you achieve your goals. Choose calorie smart and carb smart recipes, or even customize select meals by swapping proteins or sides, upgrading your proteins, or adding protein to a veggie dish. There's a ton of options available. The amount is honestly impressive. And speaking from experience, as somebody who doesn't really enjoy cooking personally, the cooking instructions are very easy to follow. So I can actually cook something relatively quick, have a good meal, and not have to worry too much about it. It's really helpful. So go to HelloFresh.com/cast22 and use the code cast22 for 22 free meals plus free shipping. 22 free meals. That's wild. Hang on. Let me read that again. Go to HelloFresh.com/cast22. That's 22, the numbers, and use the code cast22 for 22 free meals plus free shipping. That's actually
insane.
Kind of wild.
That might be the craziest deal we have ever offered on this show.
Did you ever write that like accidentally like double tap the 2. And they're like, no.
I'm actually a little scared that that's incorrect because that is
no, it's real. It's real. If you go there, it's real.
It's real. Sweats uncomfortably.
No, I'm literally going there
It's
right
real.
now to make sure that I'm not... Yeah, there's literally a button on the website that says get 22 free meals. Oh my gosh, that's wild.
22
Okay.
free meals?
Yeah.
Wait, what do I have to do?
Okay, I guess I'll read it again.
Say it again.
Go to hellofresh.com/cast22. There's a button there that says get 22 free meals. I'm looking at it right now. You have to use the code cast22 for those 22 free meals plus free shipping. Wow, okay. Big revelation. Anyway, thanks to HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. I'm definitely gonna do that after the cast. That's really cool.
And also, as somebody who loves cooking but hates prep time, it is also a great thing to experience.
You know, that's maybe what I dislike more is the prep time of it. I just kind of group it all together.
What was the URL again?
Yeah, I've seen it like 5 times.
We got it.
It's just HelloFresh/cast22.
Yo, everyone go do that. I'm seriously like, I want this to be the most successful like sponsor promo we've ever had.
Get them to do it again. No, thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring the show. All right, let's get back to the community death battle. Okay, what is the blue form?
Dude, if you had that for 2 years, like that's almost 2 years of food. If it was once a month, like I'm just like trying to wrap my brain
it's
around
probably
this.
not that specifically, but
I'm saying if you had, I know it's not that specific. It's blowing my mind. All right,
so we gotta get back to the blue form.
What do you think my preferences are? Okay, meat and veggies, veggie,
Liam,
not veggie, family
what
friendly.
What is the blue form?
Okay,
I don't
know
it's just
what the
fact
blue
that
form is.
He's blue.
He's blue.
That's it. It's his actual true appearance.
That's from Breaking Bad. Why are you blue? The way that Bryan Cranston says blue in that is like so transcendent. He's like, why are you blue? He just says it perfectly. I have a friend that's watching through Breaking Bad, and she keeps texting me being like, "Oh my God, Jesse did this," and I'm like, "I know, it's the best show ever." Yeah. Anyways, I don't know what the fucking blue form is. He turns blue. I guess.
I looked. No,
you asked me
explained
again,
it,
and I'm gonna tell you. Okay.
Liam, it is literally just he's blue because he's actually an alien. So it's just the way he normally looks. That's it.
Oh, gotcha. So he's disguised as a dog, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that Princess Rainicorn like speaks entirely in Korean. I like that like attention to detail. It's in the first episode too. I was watching the first episode and I was like, this starts off so well. It's a good show. This is fun. Yeah, I never watched all of them. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like vamping here. I'm waiting for somebody to sort of jump in, but no.
I'm just blown away.
All right, fine. Let's move on. It's time to talk about what's going on.
We haven't done that in a while. What's going on is you can get 22 free meals.
Oh my God.
We already knew the outreach.
Pescatarian is also not, but I'm not a big fish guy.
No. There's something else I really want to talk about. This has to do with Discord again. Not the pony Discord, the Death Battle Discord, the chat app. Yes. So if you're not a member of the Death Battle Discord, you can do so by being a member of our channel and linking Discord and YouTube together. Gets you in there. It's awesome. We've been seeing a lot of it is very busy in there. There's a lot of places to chat, a lot of people in there. The mods just recently kind of redid some of the back end things, added a bunch of new channels. There's a lot of new stuff in there. So if you haven't checked it out in a while, you should definitely go give it a look. This Thursday, that's literally in 2 days from when we were recording this live. If you're watching the VOD or listening to the VOD, this might have already happened. But this Thursday at 4 p.m. Central, we are going to be doing a live event on the Discord server, the Death Battle Discord Awards. This is a fan-run event that's been a long-time tradition for the Discord server before it became official. And one of the things we wanted to make sure we did when we kind of went to these guys and made it official was make sure that we don't remove anything that they've been doing. Right, preserve tradition. They've been doing this for years. We didn't want to take it away, so it is happening. again, and this time 8 of the awards for fans and fan content. We'll have the Death Battle crew involved in picking and presenting the winners. So I know I'll be there. A few of us will be there. So it's going to be fun. There are 24 categories in total. There's a bunch. And I believe quite a few of them are like viewer voted or fan voted. So definitely go check that out. That's at the Death Battle Discord. Again, you can link your YouTube and Discord accounts together to get in there if you are a member of the Death Battle YouTube channel. Excited to see you guys there. Again, 4 p.m. on Thursday. That's Central Time, 4 p.m. Central Time. All right. It's going to be fun, but I think it's time to figure out who's going to win this community death battle.
Perfect.
All right.
Also, Nightbot timed out Fenton in the chat for like. Fenton never deserves this. This happens in my streams too. I don't know why. Bots hate Fenton. Fenton's been a long time supporter.
What? What?
He gets excited and says things in all caps, but I don't know. They come after him. Anyway, I just watched it happen. Sorry, Fenton.
Sorry, Fenton.
Rip, dude.
I went to the I went to the Whitney yesterday. Just side note, I went to the Whitney yesterday. It was a beautiful museum, beautiful art museum in New York. There was an Edward Hopper exhibit. The most beautiful painting though is when you go outside on the top balcony and there's this gorgeous view of New York, and I was like, well, this is the best fucking painting here. Thanks to the High Line, very good. If you're in New York, recommend it. Very, very wonderful museum. I liked it more than MoMA, I think, which is kind of wild. Anyways, go on.
Liam's Museum Corner, where he tells you which museum to go to this week.
I had never been to the Whitney before.
Well, we need to start wrapping up this argument, and I'm still not entirely sure.
I don't know. They're both apparently like planet level space flying cartoon physics monsters.
I still don't have I don't have a clear idea at the moment of like who's better than who at what. I feel like we've been kind of vague at the moment. And they're just capable of flying through space and blowing up planets or something, or surviving planets being blown up. So I'm curious if there's like a specific weapon or ability that one of them has that could be the key to win.
Mordecai and Rigby if like we're gonna give them stuff, they have these things called the Fists of Justice. And they're just like, they look kind of like infinity gauntlets, right? And they can just shoot them off, and like I think they actually fly them with a video game controller. It doesn't matter. They're extremely powerful, right? They get them. There's this whole thing. So Skips, right, the really strong man, every 150 something years, he has to fight this man Clorbane, or else Clorbane destroys the planet. You know,
so very Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he shows up, and it's like been 157 years, so they have to go there, but Mordecai and Rigby accidentally broke one of Skip's hands, and so they pilot the Fists of Justice, and they kill this Clorbane guy who is obviously very powerful. And that's like, I don't know, it's hard to say, but it is a weapon where they can just be at whatever range they want and have an insanely powerful punchy thing that destroys like this guy that flies around universes and blows shit up, right? So it's one of those ones where it'd be really hard to get some good math out of it, but it still is impressive in something.
Finn has a sword that he gets near the end of the or seemingly near the end of the show, just based on the research I was looking at, called the Night Sword, and it's this like really incredibly powerful like extra dimensional sword or something that is able to like literally like physically and magically like shackle powerful beings and negate their ability to perform like their powers, like prevents them from being like from using their powers. This is done with I believe Hunson Aberdeen, who is Marceline's dad, who is this like extremely powerful like top tier magical vampire, like ageless immortal vampire guy, and it's able to like prevent him from using his powers. So I think that like for all the stuff that Mordecai and Rigby have, something like that negating their bullshit, combined with Finn and Jake's like much greater skill and experience at actually fighting and adventuring, I think would give them a pretty solid leg up.
What gives them better skill and experience? Why do you say that? Or
I
just
mean, their
making that
show.
up?
No, I'm not making that up. Like most
totally have more experience, skill, and never mind. Goodbye.
I mean, most of like we're bringing up like single individual feats of fighting of Mordecai and Rigby like fighting cool dudes and having like this kind of not like showing up a lot martial arts or whatever. But like the majority of regular show is a regular show. Like the joke is that it gets absurd and weird at times, but it's like it's not about two adventurers traveling around and fighting it's a more common thing for Finn and Jake to encounter like extra dimensional beings and monsters and demons and stuff like that. They're more they wouldn't be at the very least they wouldn't be surprised by anything Mordecai and Rigby would be doing. They've encountered it all.
I saw some people saying that the Night Sword specifically stops magical abilities, and that Mordecai and Rigby aren't magic.
I think that counts as magic. I don't see how what Mordecai and Rigby are doing.
It would definitely. There's an episode where they have wizard robes and they can do all sorts of magic. Like that is very clearly magic.
They are not inherently magical themselves, but if we are providing all the different abilities and whatnot, the episodes, a lot of those are magic.
Stopping the keyboard of power, sure, but like stuff like Death Kwon Do.
Oh, interesting.
I don't like it's not going to stop Death Kwon Do, right? That's a martial art that they know. It's not magic.
Well, something stopping the keyboard sounds like a big deal to me because the keyboard was sort of the keyboard and the imagination were sort of the counters to each other, the matches of each other, like being able to have that Green Lantern ability or whatever, right? To create whatever. So if the keyboard is nullified, then Finn and Jake still have their imagination and can change the environment and whatnot.
Yeah.
While Mordecai and Rigby can't.
Sam, I would also say though that I don't know shit about this Night Sword. It stops magical beings. The keyboard isn't a being. It's just like an object, right? So like I think you'd have to look into whatever fine-tune information you can find about that Night Sword and how its powers affect stuff. Because like if it were to stop magic, like in how targeted is it just like a general like anti-magic EMP? Like what are the rules of it?
He points it at Hudson, and like it's like a little laser beam shoots out, and like these magical like shackles appear over his hands, and then they sort of fade away, like they're there, but they're invisible. It's this, or they're just a magical presence, and he can't use his magic anymore. He's
but if you
so it doesn't destroy magic; it prevents them from casting magic.
Yeah.
Well, so the magic already exists. Can it cancel an already existing magical ability?
I would also say, like, go ahead and try and put handcuffs on a keyboard.
I don't know about the keyboard itself, but it would prevent them from using.
Come on. Put handcuffs on me. I'm still typing up a storm over here, bud.
Okay, put handcuffs on you and then fucking stab you with a sword because you can't use your fucking hands.
Not if I'm still playing my magical keyboard with my hands that are only this far apart anyways.
With like, I'm gonna do Death Kwon Do, everybody. Look at me.
No, I mean, I think I agree. I don't doubt it has power, but I think
context is needed.
Yeah, more context is needed. Is the answer?
This is a death
people are mentioning the fourth dimension sword. I've heard that a few times.
I don't know if that's standard. It looked like he just sort of stabbed his sword into a thing and it briefly made it fourth dimensional. But if that's true, then yeah, eat shit, Mordecai and Hoop the fourth dimensional sword.
What?
But I don't know. I don't know the specifics on it.
I will say again, the other thing I want to bring up was apparently someone mentioned Mordecai and Rigby can summon a galaxy-sized mech.
I think I would have seen that in I don't remember them
having a mech.
Is there a name for the mech, guys?
I think I would have seen that because I think Versus Battles Wiki would not have had them at town level.
Okay. Well, all right. My last question. Death Kwon Do, right? That's the martial art that they're using. Does Jake and Finn have, or Finn and Jake have some sort of like counter to that? Do they have a powerful martial art?
I mean, they know martial arts from the beings that they fight. Like I would say that there isn't like a stated. I mean, there might be, Jesus. But there isn't like a direct equivalent other than like the experience and their fights that they've already had fighting gods and demons and huge planet destroying monsters like that. Like I say, it doesn't have a specific name, but I don't see anything about Death Kwon Do that isn't like it isn't just Dragon Ball character, right? Like I can punch hard enough to create shockwaves and.
But even assuming that's all it is, can have Finn and Jake done that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean they certainly can fight. Like I've said, they can fight people that can do that sort of thing and much more than that. I would say that the beings that they fought in Scale 2 are way more powerful, at least than what Sam has described so far, which is a lot of like really cool shit, but ultimately like they destroy a park. That's not that impressive. Finn survived a black hole. Like that's way different.
I assume the mech they're talking about is Hyperduck, which is there's a bunch of baby ducks in the park, and they have a mech. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think they all filled it in. So basically, yeah, baby ducks are on speed dial, and they have to come in, and then it requires all the stuff, and then they turn into a massive.
It is
calling
kind
your
of like
friends
a summon.
up is a little different from a summon. It's not like
I don't know. That seems like every summon in Kingdom Hearts. They're just like, "Yo, Simba, what's up?" Like just because you call on a magic phone,
or like, "Hey, Golb, come and help us, Golb. I know you hate us and want to kill all of us, but come and help us with these two."
I guess the difference would be like, do these ducks have to be within duck walking range to be involved, or can they like pop out of the phone?
I think the thing also to look at here isn't that like you can't just say like, "Hey, Golb," or arch nemesis. I believe there's a setup because Mordecai and Rigby saved the baby ducks that they're like, anytime you need us, we're there. So I feel like that kind of puts it on.
That's still calling my friends up.
Yeah, yeah, and it is still like it isn't Mordecai's and Rigby's mech. It is a bunch of baby ducks who have a wild mech.
Wait,
that does fly around space and stuff.
Okay, they have a mech. It's not the baby ducks make the mech out of baby ducks.
It takes all of their stuff, is what.
Yeah.
Like I pictured a mech made of baby ducks, which means every time you're punching it, you're just killing dozens of baby ducklings. Yeah, which sounds terrible. Okay, all right. So let's get the pull up. I'm gonna post it right now. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't know. This is insane. I want to do this episode so bad now. Like,
this is actually
it'd be very cool. Yeah.
Okay. The poll is up. We're going to start the vote now. Let's go ahead and get to our first vote right after we get to our community page answers. So these are the answers that you guys provided us before the show began over the weekend. So let's go ahead and pull up the first answer from the YouTube community page.
There's a war elephant too. All right. Anyway, live stream Splash says Finn and Jake have actual combat experience and a really huge arsenal. Jake's imagination can basically counter anything Mordo and Rigby threw at them. Add that to their superior teamwork. Yeah, I say they got this one.
Okay.
There is an episode, I don't know how literally you can take it, but Mordecai and Rigby do fight like a guy in their imagination. It's like an episode about D&D, if I remember correctly. So it's like kind of hard to say in the thing, or at least the guy they're fighting is like a D&D. I think he owns it's like a, comic store or something. I can't remember. It's been many years since I watched the show, but
we also can't leave out the fact that Mordecai is a confirmed scumbag and like omega simp and just really just the worst.
I don't necessarily know how much that plays in. I forgot how sick the baby ducks are. I just put an image in the Discord. They're so sick. Anyways, yeah, I don't really know how much Mordecai being a scummy simp plays into a fight.
You never know.
But
the
he's also not that bad. The show is great.
I know
you
he
like the characters a lot by the end of it.
Sacrifice Rigby in the effort of his simping. I just remember there's this funny clip of him like kicking him off a thing, and he's like, "You can't do this! It's just a woman!" And he's like, "Ah!" He falls off. So but who knows?
Yeah,
everyone's yelling, saying Finn is also a simp. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Finn's also
baby ducks are so
living the dream.
Yeah.
If you can find a picture of the mech that they use, I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But while you're looking for that, let's go ahead and pull up the second answer from the community page.
This one comes from Kamek. Says, despite having more experience, Finn and Jake don't stand a chance against Mordecai and Rigby's raw power with Death Kwon Do alone. Rigby also has a magic keyboard that can do pretty much anything, like sending items or people to the moon. Mordecai's death block can block Rigby's death punch, which was strong enough to send Pops flying to the sun and creating a large crater that goes super deep into the Earth's crust. Lol.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting how nothing new has been brought up. I know that there's more that we haven't covered.
We can pull the picture that I just posted of Hyperduck, because it is pretty good. And Mordecai and Rigby are on the back of the guitar. They're in. I can't remember if this is the part where they're
not galaxy size.
It's
awesome.
He's got a power glove.
Yeah, I can't remember if this is the part where. No, because I think he has lights on. For a little bit, he's like a space cop. The Hyperduck is, and he has like lights. But
oh no,
I don't. I can't remember why Mordecai or Rigby are with him, but they're very much surviving, going insane speed in the space of or in the void.
Somebody
space,
dropped the name earlier, and I looked this up. This apparently is the final form, which is Hyperduck Kingbreaker White Lightning.
Fucking anime like angel.
I mean,
not afraid.
If nothing makes you want to watch this show like this, you should do it. God, these ducks are so sick. I'm just looking through pictures. They're like grinding on rails and shit. They're awesome.
Okay, clearly we need to do a death battle with just the ducks, I guess.
Yeah, right.
They got extreme sports representation the whole way through.
What is happening? What are these things? What is that?
It looks like people are suggesting that thing versus Voltron.
Oh my gosh. I kind of love it. So this thing has a bunch of forms. All right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
I need to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion.
That's what
I need to watch that.
You've never seen that?
Show?
You've never
I've never seen it. That's how could I look at that and not take away that I need to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Yeah, man, you want to watch a great anime that clearly ran out of money.
That's what I've heard. That is absolutely and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I liked the last part of Dark Souls 1. that shit is unfinished.
All right, let's get to this. It's time to start getting the votes in. Starting with the poll from the community page. Let's go ahead and bring that up. See what you guys had voted on for that.
Ooh,
and we
Finn
have
and Jake,
70%. Finn and Jake win 70% of the first vote. All right, so that's one.
That's how I thought this was going to happen, because I do think that Adventure Time, especially because the Twitter poll votes before they've heard any arguments, right? So in like Finn and Jake, they're just way more popular. In like they're way more outwardly like, hey, look at me, I'm like Toon Force powerful. Where regular shows like instances of insane shit are much more like they're less regular, right? So I feel like people are gonna underestimate Mordecai and Rigby. Is the simplest way I could say what I just said for like 5 minutes.
We still have 3 more votes left.
Yeah.
Chad, what are you voting for?
You know, I didn't know how this was gonna go, but my gut was gonna lean towards Adventure Time. But I'm gonna tell you, Sam swayed me. The Death Kwando and the keyboard and like, honestly, it also just sounds like a show I want to watch now.
The basketball god powers are sick. Like, keep on, they fly in between planets like so goddamn fast. Dunk a ball, blow up an entire area of a town.
Black hole survives a
not a real black
hole. Cuts
hole.
it from the inside. I think it is a real black hole, but we can talk about
it. We didn't even talk about
that. So I'm going Mordecai and Rigby.
It is a black hole made by somebody's magic that is like
it is
small
sucking in
space, right? So
it's
so we have 1 vote for Adventure Time, 1 vote for regular show. Okay. I want to ask just a real quick question. Liam, you mentioned the Night Sword shoots a beam, and anything that the beam hits, like magic is shut down,
let me
right?
make sure it's a beam. It might have just been pointing at it, but let me make
like
sure
it doesn't just do it. It's got to actually hit a target.
Hang on then. Hang on for just a second.
Finn created a black hole using science.
Wait.
I hope they specifically wanted you to read it just like that.
Okay, I'm just gonna say yes.
Okay. Then given this crazy amount of speed we're talking about, I think I have to lean towards Mordecai and Rigby.
Damn you, Ben. Damn you.
If it could just do it, or if there was any sort of way we could guarantee that the Night Sword would shut down their magic, I'd probably vote for Finn and Jake, but leaning towards Mordecai Rigby right now. So it's 2 for Mordecai Rigby, 1 for Finn and Jake. But I think it's time to get the final vote in. Let's bring up the poll from the live chat and see if you guys agree with us. We got 2 for Mordecai and Rigby, 1 for Finn and Jake. Maybe it's going to be a tie. Who knows? We'll see.
And then Mike will get to decide.
Yeah. Are we able to bring that up, or should we just say?
I just sent it to Mike. Okay. It just takes a seat. We have to
yeah.
wait until it's done, and then I have to steal the picture of it. And it's not the most beautiful, seamless system in the world, but it works. And we just have to vamp for like 30 seconds, and then
Cats,
your
the
guy might get
professional,
it.
prepared show
Skittle my do
on the internet.
3, 4, open the door. 5, 6, pick up sticks.
Okay, never mind.
We got a vote
Hey,
for
there it is.
Yeah. That is 3 votes for
Information
Mordecai
that
and
you
Rigby.
had to see visually because otherwise it would have been a disaster.
We wouldn't. I would have just said, yeah, Finn and Jake win.
I do.
And it's actually it says times
it
2.
It is pretty close. That was a pretty close vote in the chat.
Yeah, 54% going to Mordecai and Rigby.
I do like how YouTube like doesn't want to round one of those numbers up because it only equals 99%. Like they're like 1%. Don't worry about it. We lost it. Don't worry about it.
C-Dub in the chat, is this Sam's first win?
In a fucking while, at least. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
All right, 1 vote for Adventure Time, 3 votes for regular show. But man, that was, I don't know. Like, I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of what this death battle could actually be. So let us know if you think this should be a full episode. I mean, a lot of you already have.
You could have in the polls. You fucked up.
But so rather than that, actually, let us know what you would want to see out of this episode. Like, do you think what we've been doing covers what we would want?
I said this to him earlier because you were like, they're regular looking characters, and I was like, ah! Like,
they are regular.
Like, maybe there's something we didn't talk about that should definitely be covered, or how do you see the fight going? Should the Ducks make an appearance?
Yes,
I say yes,
absolutely. Dude, you know what? Like, hell yeah, dude! Look at this. Oh, they do aggressive skating.
Yeah, dude, the Ducks are sick.
Dude, anytime.
Andy wears his helmet. Come on,
dude, look
so
at that,
sick, dude.
He doesn't even have the gap to do that Royale, but you know he's making it work.
And also, it seems like when you have wings, I don't know, not as cool, but still, whatever. The Ducks are sick as shit, dude.
Yeah, the danger's a lot lessened when you have wings and can just hover away.
But the ducklings, right? Can they fly yet? Do they know how to fly?
Yeah.
I think so.
People said they fly in, so I assume they can.
Okay. Well, either way.
I want to do the Mighty Ducks. How about we do the Mighty Ducks from the animated cartoon show that kicked ass? That's what we should do.
Oh, God. Mighty Ducks versus the Duck Robots, or whatever the heck it was
well,
called.
I don't know if they're on the same scale, but we'll see.
All right. Thank you all for joining us for this crazy matchup. And thank you all for joining us for 2023. We are excited to get into this year and this upcoming season. We got some really fun and cool episodes planned for you guys, including the 2 that you guys voted on, of course, which just a reminder is Bill from Gravity Falls versus Discord for My Little Pony, and the dreaded Cole versus Alex of Street Fighter, and whatever the other one is called, I can't remember.
Cole from Mortal Kombat versus Alex from Street Fighter.
That's right. That's
y'all
right.
gotta
That's
stop
definitely
perpetuating this. I swear.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
So that one,
I think
that
the
one's
Prototype
coming.
versus Infamous.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what either of those things are. Is that a different
I'm just saying,
museum that I should go
somebody's
to?
gonna be like, wait, what? Like, it's
All right, thank you all. As always, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome, and we will see you next week. Take care.